Right, so then the next thing we want to look at is nested structures, right? I think that's going to be the last thing, right? So I would be using an example I copied from the C++ website. So I'll just go ahead and comment out all of this, right? So now what they did over here is, this is the first structure and this is the second structure. So they have a structure called movies. This is the name of the structure called movies, movies T. And then we have the members. The first member is the title of the movie, and the second member is the year that it was released, probably. Now, the second structure is called friends T, friends underscore T, and it has three members. The first one is the name of the friend, the second one is the email of the friend, and the third one is a structure. The third member is a structure which was already declared. So in this case, we can infer that movies T. Now take note over here. This particular one is the type of structure. The structure is called movies T. So when you want to create an object over here, then use movies T as well, because we use string email, so it should be movies whatever you want. So movies, favorite movie. So this is an object that was, let's say this is an object here called favorite movies, but then you came to make it a member of this particular um, structure again. Then after that, they went ahead to create two objects of this particular data structure, of this particular structure. So we have the first object called Charlie, and then we have the second one called Maria. Yeah. So now, how do we access these objects? How do we even assign values to them? Now, the first thing is what they did over here. They made I think they created a pointer. Yeah. So the first object is Charlie, and they created a pointer called p friends to Charlie, and this is the syntax. You use friends. The pointer you are creating. I think I should even clear this. No, let me not clear. Let me create it this way. So we have friends so that it's easy to understand. Friends T and Charlie and Maria, right? So then now this is what happened. An object called Charlie was created and it's of type friends T, and we are creating a pointer for Charlie. So what do? We have to use the data type of Charlie, which is friends with the asterisk, and then this is the name of the pointer, p friends, and we are making the address of the first object Charlie, right? Then what did we do? We wanted to print out charlie.name, so whatever name we assigned to now after we did this, so let me do this so that you guys will kind of get. So let's assign name to Charlie. So it's going to be charlie.name. We have created the object already, mind you. We have created an object called Charlie and it's of type friends T. And charlie.name is equal to what? I don't know, Joe. Then we want to have charlie.email.email, and we want to have it as, I think it's string, right? So charlie at gmail.com. And then we want to have Charlie. Oh, this is a character, right? Charlie dot good. Now this is where the nesting comes. So Charlie dot. Now we have favorite movie, so we can have favorite, 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 right? Favorite movie. It's the same syntax, charlie.email, but over here we have charlie.favorite movie. And then since this is another object of a structure, we have to have favorite movie dot. Then we have to put in the title of the movie, right? So over here we had charlie.email, which was just a direct object of a structure. But over here we have an indirect object. So charlie.favorite movie dot, because this object as well has two characteristics. So you have to specify those characteristics as well, or whichever one that you want. So favorite movie, the title. And what we want to have is, what kind of movie should I put in here? I want to have Mission Impossible. So I think Fallout. Right. Then what we want to have again is Charlie dot favorite movie. Or if you have a favorite movie, you can just leave a comment in the comment section, because I really like movies like Mission Impossible. They're just so interesting. Right. So then we would have dot favorite movie dot and then the year of release, because the second characteristic of favorite movie is year. Right, so year is equal to, I don't know which year it was released, but let's just say 2000. I'm not quite good at years. So 2000, right. So then we would clear out this thing before it throws out an error. So this was a different thing that we wanted to do. This is a different thing altogether. So for now, just forget about this. Just forget about it. So comment this out. So now we've created an object called Charlie, and we assigned a name to it: Charlie.name, Joe, Charlie.email, Charlie.favorite movie, which is another object of another structure. So favorite movie.title and favorite movie.year. Now what do we want to do here? We want to print out the name. So Charlie.name. This one will just print out Joe, and we have not yet used Mary, please. So Charlie dot favorite movie dot title, and it's going to print out the title Fallout, and then Charlie dot favorite movie dot year is going to print out 2000 and P friends, right? So let's comment this out. We'll talk about that later. So I want to put a space in here. I think I should just copy this. Let me cut it and we paste it in here, and let's run this and talk more later. Oops, we have an error. It says that an expected initializer before Charlie. What? Initializer, what do you mean? Oh, okay, so we have forgotten the semicolon over there, or the semicolon. So we've forgotten that. So we'll just run this and I hope there will be no error. Whoops, another one. Struct data whatever friends T has no member named favorite movie. Ah, I spelled it wrongly. Favorite, right? Favorite movie. Right. So we run this and hopefully, whoops, another one. So conversion from constant character to int. What does that mean? Ah, look at me. This is not a string. Please. So the data type over here is integer. So I can't use the those two quotations because that denotes a string. Hopefully there will be no error. Oh, done. So let's look at this and look at this. This is bad writing. So we want to have a tab because it was not readable. So I want to have a tab in here, and I want to have a tab in here as well, and we want to have a tab in here as well. We run this, it should be readable now. So we have Joe Fallout 2000. So this is the name of my friend. And why did it not print out email? We did not ask it to print out email, right? So Joe, and this is the Fallout, the movie title and the year, right? So that's how to use nested data structures. Now we want to create pointers as well to point to some of these characteristics of our friends. So what we want to do is we created a pointer called friends t. Now take note, we want to create a pointer for the object Charlie, and Charlie is of type friend. It's of type friends t. So over here we want to have the pointer to. Let me just cut this and paste it down here, so it's kind of right. So we are creating a pointer to this object, and this object is of type friends t. So we want to make the pointer as well friends t. Then they want to name the pointer prefriends and want to dereference. We want to make it the address of Charlie. Now the next thing we want to do is over here they said see out friends and all of that. So let's now uncomment this. So what happened here? So then this is the arrow operator again. So we called out p friends. I think they were printing, but before then let's assign something to it. So then how do we use the pointer to assign characteristics to whoever we want? So Charlie dot favorite movie. No, we don't want to say Charlie. We want to use the pointer. So the pointer to Charlie is p friends. I better look at my spelling. So p friends, I want to use the arrow operator to point to what. So p friends is Charlie. So Charlie dot what? Charlie dot we have name here, we have email, we have movies. Let's use name first. So I think we have accessed that parameter. Let me comment this out and then use p friends email, right? And we want to say that is equal to this. So copy and want to paste it in here. What have I done? Right. So then, so p friends points to Charlie. So Charlie dot email is the same as p friends with this arrow to email. Yeah, like that, because you're assigning it to email. Then want to have p friends, p friends with an arrow pointing to favorite movie. I hope I get my spelling this time. Around, sorry, favorite movie dot, and over here we use the dot operator because we don't have a pointer for favorite movie, so we have to use the dot operator to access the particular characteristic that we want of movie. So dot title, and we want to have, let's just say matrix. I don't know, matrix, right? So the title matrix. Now how do we access these parameters? So we, not parameters, sorry, these characteristics. So we want to have see out preference favorite movie dot year. No, we don't want dot year, want dot title, dot title. And then we want to have, let me copy this and paste it up here. Right, and we want to have favorite movie. No, we don't want to have favorite movie. We want to have, I think the second thing we created was dot email, right? So email. Good. So let's run this and hopefully there should not be error. Whoops. We have matrix was not declared. I get you. I understand. I understand you. So we have to make that a string because it's a string. Right. So we have Joe matrix 2000 Charlie at email.com matrix again. Why is it printing matrix two times? The first one so you see something, it overrode what we wrote earlier because we reassigned it again. I think I should re-edit this and print it out again so you guys can get what I'm talking about. So tab, let's run this again and compare it with what we have. Because you printed matrix two times. Why did it print matrix two times? So Joe here matrix 2000, Charlie at gmail.com and matrix. Now we have Charlie movie title over here as Fallout, and that was at the 55th line, 155th line. And then we had a reassignment of the same characteristic favorite movie the title to matrix. Now what happened was that this one was the latest declaration. So that, but why did it have to? Yeah, this one was the latest declaration of that particular characteristic. Mind you, we printed this after the latest declaration. So if we had printed this over here, if we had printed Charlie the favorite movie the title, I'm going to cut it. No, let me copy it and paste it here. Paste it here. Now look at the order of execution. It executes sequentially. Now we assigned this movie the title to movie to whatever. So the movie was Fallout, and then we came out all the way. Initially that line was not there, so it wasn't there, so it wasn't executed. So after the assignment, we did not use it. Then again we came down and reassigned it to matrix. Then after that we were printing that particular characteristic. So that's why I return matrix 2 times. But if we want matrix just 1 time and fallout 1 time, we have to print out fallout before we reassign it to matrix. So let's print it out here and see what's going to happen, and then comment this out. So this will have favorite movie. Let me leave this one so that it will print it 2 times. Right, so we're closing this and we are running. Now we have fallout. Why is fallout first? Okay, so fallout was printed before Joe, and then after that matrix, because so that means it's the same characteristic, but because we are printing it after the latest reassignment, it returned the latest reassignment, right? I think this video is getting really, really long. If I'm talking a lot, kindly comment in the comment section that I should talk less and write more. Okay, so then I think that's it for this particular one. I think there was one thing I wanted to point out that, right, so I think we should just use this one for it. Now we have identifier.member. So this is what we are used to. We are used to identifier and then the arrow to member name. That's what we're used to. But what we want to do now is use this format, identifier.member name, and no, this format. So if you want to use the dot operator, right? If you want to use the dot operator over here with pointers, then what you can do is, where is that syntax again? So you put the identifier in brackets with the asterisk before the member name. So what do I mean over here? We are using pointers, so p friends, and you want to put that in brackets dot email. Now take note, p friends is the pointer, right? And we are dereferencing it. So we dereference it, and the dereferenced form of this address is, I think, Charlie. So technically this is just charlie.email, right? So we come down here and where is it? .email, right? So we want to replace this with this particular one with dot operator, and then we want to have the brackets. So it's the same syntax, but if you want to use the dot operator and it's quite easy to remember, then you can go ahead with that. So we have an error over there, says request for number, email, and preference, which is a pointer type. Maybe you meant to use, what are you saying? Awfully sorry about that. We should be putting everything in brackets. So we have the dereferenced of pfriends, right? So the dereferenced of pfriends.email. So now what this means is pfriends is the address of the object Charlie. Then when we dereference it, then technically we are getting the real value of over there, so which is Charlie. So Charlie, not the address again. Mind you, over here is just the address, which we are telling the computer that at that address, where this address is the address of Charlie, not Charlie dot. So where this is the address of Charlie, go to the address of Charlie and then get to the characteristic favorite movie dot title and put this in there. But then what we're doing over here is we are saying that take the address pfriends and dereference it. So when you dereference it, you will be returning Charlie, the object Charlie, the value over there. So which is Charlie. Then charlie.email, store this in there. So we go ahead and just put this out here, and then we run this, and hopefully there should be no error. Good, and we have passed time compile, and we have our output over here. So then this particular syntax and this particular syntax is the same. So if you are not used to the arrow operator, you can just use the this dot operator, but then with a changed format. So that's it for this particular video on data structures. So right now I hope you have an intuition of how to why data structures are important, because if it's not important, it will not be included. So it's important because we have to organize structures. Um, just make it organized for easy access, right? So I hope you appreciate the importance of data structures, right? So stay safe and see you in the next tutorial.